How's it going, everyone? My name's Draelik. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time to the channel, thank you. First, I just want to say, don't mind the trucker hat. This is not normally what I would wear, but my hair is kind of out of control, so this is just a way to cover that up uh, until I get a haircut. Anyway, what we're going to end up doing is a review for the Devil May Cry anime. I wanted to do a review, so that's what we're doing here. First thing I want to get out of the way is that I am an average dude. I don't go super in depth. This isn't some crazy, I'm not pausing every second to see every frame. I kind of just watch what I can watch. I do try to pay attention, but I'm sure I miss things. I'm not this hardcore guy, so hopefully kind of take that with a grain of salt. Opinions are definitely going to be, people are going to have different opinions, so I just want to put that out there. But yeah, so let's kind of get into this. First thing I want to say, if I haven't already said it, is it's on Netflix. It's fully out. There are 8 episodes. I think it's done. Yeah, it's done by a company called Studio Mer, which is the same company that did Legend of Korra. Legend of Korra, animation-wise, pretty much just is a well-rounded show. I know it kind of has its ups and downs story-wise, but animation-wise, it was always pretty solid. And I'm happy to say they kind of carry that over to the Devil May Cry anime. This show is very solid. I liked it. I'll just get that out of the way. I did enjoy the watch. I don't believe it's a must-watch, but I definitely think if you don't have something that you're watching right now and you do like anime, or maybe you like the games, because it is based off a game, I would definitely give it a watch. It's not a bad watch at all. Talking about that, I don't think you need to play the games to understand what's happening or to enjoy it. I myself never played the games. I'm a huge gamer, but for whatever reason, I've just always found my way not to play Devil May Cry. It just has never come up. I've seen clips. I've seen that there's a famous clip of I don't know who it is, but some guy's reacting. He's like, I don't understand what's happening.
Don't understand a thing in this game, bro. This game has done nothing but just confuse me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand what's going on.
But yeah, you fully understand pretty much the world. I'm sure if you've played the games or you understand the lore, you'll appreciate even more what's happening. Action-wise, it's very good. The cinematography and the choreography of the fights is really good. I very much enjoyed it. They go in a couple different, like, unique directions of how they film it, and I definitely applaud that. A lot of the fights feel original and feel like a breath of fresh air, so that's always good. They're very easy to watch. There's not a lot of, like, I don't think there's a lot of ghosting or any, like, weird shit. It's pretty, like, you can understand what's happening during the fight, and I like that a lot. I will say, and this is one of my cons, I don't have too many cons for this, but a big one or a big negative for me personally, I'm a very visual person, so anything that's visually jarring always catches my eye, and it can take me out of something very quickly, and that is the CGI in this. The CGI is pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the main antagonist group is CGI, and in other anime, what ends up happening is, you'll have the normal animation style where they're drawn out, and then it's either like a big scene or maybe they're in the background, and then they become CGI, and then it looks kind of crappy, but you're like, whatever. And that's not the case. They're almost always CGI. They're not all. There's a couple that aren't CGI, and those are usually the fights that are the best. But it is pretty jarring. It's not good CGI at all. It looks like that scene from The Mummy. It's pretty bad. And it did take me out of a couple fight scenes. There are some fight scenes with it that aren't terrible. I wouldn't even say it's terrible necessarily, but it's just it did take me out of it a little bit. So for me, that's a negative. I understand there are some people that watch that doesn't bother them, or maybe they're, they can just kind of look past that. For me, I couldn't do that. It's not enough of a reason to drop the show. Obviously, I still enjoyed the show very much, but it is something to take note of. Then you have the characters. I love the characters, especially the main character. If the main character is good, I feel like in any show, it makes it a whole lot easier to watch, especially if they're on screen a lot. I did see some people complaining that Dante wasn't on screen as much as he really should be, considering the whole show's pretty much about him and his life and what's going on. But overall, I believe that Dante is a great character. He has like a lot of these corny lines. His humor always hits. I love when he was on screen. This, I believe the native language in this is English. I try to watch everything in its native language. So usually in anime, it's Japanese. So I'll watch it in Japanese. If it's a donghua, then I'll watch it in Chinese. But this, I believe, is in English. I'm sure it's in a bunch of different languages. But the dub voice acting, which usually throws me off because there's always seemingly an emotional disconnect, it's actually very good in this. A lot of the voice acting is good. Even the like background characters have voice lines that will make you laugh, or it just sounds like there's more emotion within their voice, and it kind of brings and fleshes out the character more so. Johnny Young Bosch does the voice acting for Dante. He's done Lelouch. He's done Ichigo. He's out of the dub voice actors, he's like S tier for me. And he hits a home run with Dante again. It's very good. Also, Kevin Conroy's in this. He did the voice acting for the late series of like Batman, like late 90s, early 2000s. It's a very iconic voice. He did pass away. This was, I believe, his last role, and he did unfortunately pass away relatively recently. But he is in this. As soon as you hear him, you'll know it's him. And they did in memoriam of him. I don't know if it was the whole show or just an episode, but that was nice to see. And he knocks it out of the park, as always. The one thing, and this is my only other con for the whole show, really, I'm sure there's some other small shit, but I don't really care about that too much, is Lady. Lady as a character isn't my favorite. I wouldn't say every time she's on screen, but a lot of times on screen, she's like the weakest part of the show. Voice acting wise, she's fine. But the voice lines she was given, it's like every other word is like profanity. And that, a lot of times that doesn't bother me, but it's like overused to the point where like they were trying to make her seem like too badass, and it did not connect at all. I was turned off. I was just turned away every time she was talking, because it's like, oh, I can't wait to kill this motherfucker. And it was like some absurd line. Yeah, I was not a huge fan of that. It was overly corny. I also saw there was, I don't know if it was a Reddit thread or something on X, where they were saying that a lot of the fights involving Lady should not have been as close as they should have been with certain characters. I don't really want to spoil too much, but she's in a lot of fights where, based off the lore or the game lore, those fights should not have been close. I don't know. I have no idea, because I haven't played the games, but as far as I'm aware, the fight scenes for me didn't bother me at all. How they went, they all relatively made sense. But yeah, Lady was probably, as far as a character goes, the weakest character in terms of like voice lines and like connecting with the audience. But even that being said, she has a lot of cool scenes. There's a lot of fight scenes with her, and design wise, I don't think there's a character in the show that I don't like. Then you have the main antagonist. The main antagonist is quite good. I like his backstory. There's a whole episode dedicated towards his backstory, which almost has no dialogue, and somehow it's one of the better episodes. It's just the way it was told, and I think it has the most emotional impact out of all the episodes. I like antagonists that you can relate to, or like at least empathize with, or is it sympathize or empathize? One of them. Either way, I think overall the main antagonist is a good antagonist, and I think you pair that up with a good main character, it's almost impossible to have a bad show. On top of it having solid animation, the introduction to the main antagonist is probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire show. You'll meet him in episode 1. Yeah, it's one of the more well animated scenes or episodes as well. Another good thing about the show is the music. I love the music in the show. It's it hits home. It's kind of nostalgic. It's a lot of like early 2000s, late 90s rock and rap. It's the opening is Limp Bizkit, which slaps. Then there's Evanescence, has a song, I believe it's called Afterlife. That's really good. And just all the little soundtracks and within the show are really solid as well. So the music definitely hits. Overall, it's just a very enjoyable watch. I saw a lot of people complaining about the show. I really didn't even look up like ratings or what people think about it. I really enjoyed the show. I don't think it's a must watch, but I do believe that it's worth watching, if that makes any sense. And if there's a season 2, I will definitely watch season 2. Season 1 was definitely enough to hook me in, and I think there's enough to go into a season 2. There's a lot of stuff that either wasn't explained or I know Devil May Cry, there's a lot more lore to be explored, and I think they did a good enough job where they're going to extend. I think they've already announced that season 2 is coming out. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. I'll put it somewhere on the screen if I can confirm it later. With that being said, I am going to give Devil May Cry a 7.9. That might sound bad, but it's not, I promise. I just want to represent what I think I watched well. It's not on the level of Arcane, which I gave like a 9.3 or 9.2 or whatever I gave it. There's other shows that I'm currently watching or I just finished, like Link Click, Apothecary Diaries. I would still rather watch those over this, and I know where I would rate those, and those would be higher. Those would be within the 8s or maybe even a 9. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know I would rather watch those than this. But there's also only 8 episodes of this, and I'm sure as more episodes come out, I'll become more emotionally attached to the characters and to the story, and that number could only go up. I mean, it very easily could also go down if they mess it up somehow, but I don't see that happening. I think they did a really good job on season 1. Yeah, I mean, that is really it. That's all I have to say about it. Like I said, I didn't want to go too in-depth. I don't think I did. I hope I didn't spoil anything, but that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be doing more reviews and more reactions. I'm going to start reacting to One Piece. I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded. Not that there's too many people watching my videos at this current junction. So that's, that is what it is. I mean, that's how this works, right? I got to put out way more videos before I get any kind of attention, I guess. So, but I hope you enjoyed, and I will be back at some point. See you later. Bye-bye.